Hi, I'm Bernie Callen. I'm director and co-sponsor of the North Jersey HiRailers Association. This room that we're in is part of an old mill building that my partner and I bought about 6 years ago. This is the third floor, and it's in Paterson, New Jersey. Paterson was the home of the first locomotive built in the United States, the General, which was popular during the Civil War, and other locomotives were then built thereafter here. This third floor area is an open loft area. It's 50 feet by 250 feet. We filled it completely with O-scale layout. The layout itself measures 185 feet by 40 feet. We have 5 main lines. Each main line is approximately a scale mile, at least a mile of track. We have this set up so it can run both DCS and TMCC, so that we can run basically on the 5 main lines, and we can separate 2 of the sections to 10 trains at a time, and then we can then load at least another 2 or 3 going forward on that. There are about 5 large train yards that we have to bring out the engines and loaded trains onto the tracks. We also are now building a 3-line subway system. The system will be on 3 levels. The lower level is now complete. It will then be a street level, and then we will have an L level above that. We will also have 2 subway yards with that. Right now, we have about 40 members in the club. Everybody usually comes here on a Wednesday, and a lot of people come on a Saturday and Sunday. We've set up a complete restaurant area here so that we have our own food service. One of our members is a chef, so we get some great food here. And this is something that we've just done for the fun of it. We open up to the public 6 times a year. Usually on a Sunday. Our first one will be September 28th of this year. We'll have 2 shows in November and 2 in December. We also have, with this layout here, we have the layout from the Sopranos HBO show. This was given to us on a permanent loan from HBO and Lionel. They both helped us set up and supply the different accessories that have to be run with it. This is a proud addition, and we also have extra space now on our 2nd floor, and we're going to see if we can build some more here. Right now, we're considered the largest O-scale in the United States. We've been on the O-Gauge forum a number of times, and no one has questioned that statistic.
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm Ben Fiorello from the NJ HiRailers in Paterson, New Jersey, and this is our layout. This section down here was our subway section, and we used Atlas track because this whole area is going to be covered. So we didn't want a track that we had to go back and replace or repair. We knew that the Atlas track is a solid rail, and it's pretty easy to install. What we did was put Homosote down, and then we used the Atlas track screws to put the track directly to the Homosote. Around the track, I don't know if you could see, we did add a 3rd rail. We used Atlas HO rail, took the rail off the ties, and just soldered it onto some screws. The track's pretty easy to use. We isolated every 20 feet because we plan on using some command control down here that the wiring needs to be every 20-foot blocks. So we use the Atlas insulated pins to section off every 20 feet. We have Atlas switches on the other side. We use the Atlas switches again because they're pretty easy to install and they're pretty reliable. One thing we're going to install on the ones that are being covered are the under-the-table switch machines that Atlas just came out with because, again, it's going to be covered. We can't get in there to replace a switch machine if it fails. So the under-the-table machines leave us access to the bottom of the table. So far, the track's been great. We've been running trains here on this section for about a year and haven't had any problems with the track work. And it's still a work in progress, but we're getting there. Okay, when we installed all these switches, we used the stock switch motors. Since we installed them, Atlas announced the under-the-table switch motor. So we're going to be removing these switch motors and installing the switch motors under the table because this section will be covered and we're not going to have access to any of these switches later on. So the under-the-table machines will give us access from underneath. So.
This building that we're in right now was put up in 1880. It was a silk mill. When that industry came to Paterson, New Jersey, this was a very viable building for the manufacture of silk, and they employed hundreds of people. Over the years, it's changed hands several times, and when we purchased the building in 2001, it was run by an optic fiber manufacturing company. And when we took the building over, it was in disrepair, and my partner and I, Bernie, put a lot of money into making the building what it is today, which is new on the inside, same structure on the outside. And the room that we're in, we were going to put a light manufacturing or office facility in this room until one day my son, who's now 17 years old, had the idea when he was 11 years old to put a model train layout in this room. And basically, well, we agreed to do it, and that's how it started.
The rest is history.
It's, yeah. My son's been into trains since he's 3 years old. And when he was 9 years old, we were at a train show, and he met a group from the Northwest NJ HiRailers. And he talked and became friends with the president of that club and made arrangements with the president at that time to move his modular layout here and keep it up permanently. And they agreed to do that and also expand the modular layout, never realizing that it would grow to these proportions which we have today.